Hey everybody, so we are here for our next lesson for our math notebook 2. This is lesson 15. In this lesson we are going to be learning about different ways that we can use arrays to multiply. So first off, I'm going to start you off and explain a strategy that you can use when multiplying. Okay, the strategy is the break apart strategy. All right, as you can see, we have our array already drawn here with our multiplication problem, which is 7 times 3. Okay, so the break apart strategy, basically it means exactly what it says. You're gonna take this array or one of those numbers and you're gonna break it apart, make it into two easier multiplication problems. So for what I like to do is I would probably take this 7 and I would break apart that 7 into two different numbers. Okay, you can break them apart into whatever two numbers, but they have to equal 7. Okay, so for example, I could break it up into 3 and 4 because 3 plus 4 is going to give me that 7. So what that just means is I'm going to take this array and I need to break this 7 up. Okay, so if I'm going to break it up into an array of 3 and an array of 4, I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, and that's where I'm going to break it up, right here. Okay, so now you can see I have kind of two separate arrays. One of them is now 3 by 3, and then this one is 4 by 3. Okay, so what I would do then is I would need to actually write out the multiplication for these arrays. So this side over here is 4, and this side right here is 3. Okay, so to figure out what this array is going to be, I would do 3 times 3. Okay, and to figure out this array right here, it would be 4 times 3, because you're just multiplying the row by the columns or columns by the row. Okay, so I have 4 in this one times that 3. This 3 right here does not change. Okay, all right, this kind of just makes it into two easier problems for you to solve. 7 times 3, some of you might know right like that off the top of your head, but some of you might want to break it apart, make two easier problems. 3 times 3 and 4 times 3 are kind of easier ones to solve. So 3 times 3, if you're not 100% sure, skip count, 3, 6, 9. Okay, so you got 3, 6, 9. And then 4 times 3, 3, 6, 9, 12. Okay, are you guys done? Nope, because we need to then add those two together. Okay, always start with your ones. 9 plus 2 is 11, so you drop the 1, carry your 10, and then 1 plus 1 is going to give you 2. So 21 is going to be your answer. Okay, I'll have a couple more of these examples in one of the next slides for you that says look at the example. And you'll have them even for the next lesson also. So we'll continue using the strategy because this is a big one that we like to use in 4th grade. Okay, where basically if you have an equation, you just pick one of the numbers and you break it apart. Okay, if you wanted, we could have even broken apart this 3 here. Okay, instead of doing and breaking apart the 7, we could have broken apart the 3 into 2 and 1. So it would be 7 times 1 and 7 times 2. Okay, it's up to you. Either way, it would be good to make sure that you have your array drawn and then to be able to show what the arrays look like once you have it broken up. Okay, so this is definitely one that we're going to be using. So I kind of have another little chart for us. This is the one that you will see on the first page of your lesson for today. So using arrays to multiply. Again, if we have the array all drawn out, our 7 times 3. Couple of the ways you can solve it. You can use that repeated addition. However, this would be one that you maybe use to double check your work, but this should not be the main strategy that you use. Using your multiplication, just knowing 3 times 7 is 21. Using that break apart strategy in order to make sure that this is correct, or your skip counting. Okay, so skip counting 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, or 7, 14, 21. Okay. But what we're going to be looking at today is what if some of the ones in the array are missing? What if you have a picture of an array, but you've got spots missing? How will you know how many there actually is in the array. So we're going to look at a problem like that today. All right, so this is a problem. You may have seen this similarly before, but it's how many cups of yogurt. Okay, so this would be a crate, like if you're at the grocery store and you see a container that has yogurt cups in it, but some people have taken some yogurt cups already. But you want to figure out, well, how many yogurt cups all together would fit in this array. Okay, we can't really say how many's on each side because we're not sure how many would go here or how many would be missing here. So one thing I would do is my first step would be to fill in the missing boxes, okay? Because as you can see, each square has four yogurt cups in it. So this one here would have 4, this one would have 4. And then if you look over here, if we just continue to kind of fill in the blanks, you could just, kind of draw that line up. So then you know that you're going to have 4 here, 4 here, and 4 here. Okay? So they want to know how many cups of yogurt all together would fit in this array, not how many are actually there, because we're not just going to count by ones, because again, counting by ones is not a 4th grade strategy that we use. But actually, if this was all full, how many would there be? So my first step is to normally either at least figure out, have each side figured out, so I know how many is on this side and how many is on our, how many is in a row, how many is in our column. So I actually drew this out so that way it was, I just twisted it. Okay. All right, so I would fill mine out, and so I can figure out, okay, I have 12 on this side and 6 on this side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 cups of yogurt. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cups of yogurt. So now you got to figure out, well, how many cups of yogurt is that? Your first step is thinking about what is your equation that you're trying to solve. Okay, so remember you're going to multiply your how many rows you have by how many columns you have. Okay, so let me do darker color so you guys can see it a little better. All right, so your guys' multiplication problem that you would be using. Put something underneath this, there we go. Okay, would be 12 times 6. The amount of rows that you have, so you have 12 rows, and then you have 6 columns. So 12 times 6. Now, I don't know about you, but it's kind of a big number to be able to know off the top of your head. So we're gonna use that strategy that I just showed you, that break apart strategy. And we're going to break one of these numbers apart. Now, if it were me, I'd break this 12 apart because that's kind of a big number, okay? And I would break that apart into our 10s and our 1s. All right, so you have 10 and 2 because 10 plus 2 is going to give you that 12. All right, so now if I kind of look here at my array, what that's going to look like is if I'm breaking up this 12 into 10 and 2, this is going to be my 2, and then the rest of this over here is going to be my 10. Okay, so I'm solving for this array right here, and then I'm solving for this big array right here. Okay, now we need to make sure that we write out those multiplication problems. So remember, this 6 stays the same no matter what. So you're multiplying 10 times 6. And then you're multiplying 2 times 6. Okay. Now, for 10 times 6, this should be one that you know off the top of your head. Anytime you multiply by 10, you just add an extra place value to the number you're multiplying by. Okay, so the 6 stays the same. You're just adding that 0 to the end of it. Okay, so that 10 times 6 is going to give you 60. All right, and again, if you're not sure about that, add up by 10s. Okay, you have 10 here, so 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. So there's 60 yogurt cups in this big array right here. And then we have 2 times 6, which if you're, again, not sure, count up by 2s, you're 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Okay. Now again, make sure that we're not done yet, because now we need to add them together. It's important to make sure that you have all your place values lined up as well. So we have our 1s lined up and our 10s lined up. Always start with your 1s no matter what. So 0 plus 2 is going to give you 2. 6 plus 1 is going to give you 7. Okay, so all together we have 72, and then also a big thing, 72 yogurt cups. Okay, we got to know actually what you're labeling. So we have 72 yogurt cups all together. All right, so this is what you're going to be doing today. You have, in the next 2 slides, you have 2 problems you're going to be solving today. One of them looks like this. It's an array picture problem. So it's kind of like the one we just did, where you have some of them missing and you need to figure out how many juice cans you have all together. So if these were all filled up together, how many would this fix? It says how many juice cans were in this case when it was full. Not how many are in it now, but when it was actually full. All right, so if you want, you guys can solve this in your, in your math notebook. You can, you can be able to draw on it on your Chromebooks or iPads if you have an iPad. But the biggest thing is you have to make sure that you explain how you found your answer. So if you draw this out and you if you have it written out, just like how we did here with our problem here, if you have this written out in a math notebook or something, you can always take a picture of it and add that picture in if you would like. And then you can even add a little, description of what you did or something like that if you would like, but we do need to actually see your math and what you did for this. Okay, I highly recommend using this break apart strategy. Okay, we're gonna be using this one quite a bit. All right, so this is the first one that you will be doing for problem A. So how many juice cans were in this case when it was full? And then this one's gonna be a little harder because this one, you've got this pesky little clipboard that's covering some of these apples. Because it wants to know how many apples are in this case. So all together, how many are in there, not just how many can you see. Okay, but if this clipboard were moved, if you're able to move that, which we can't, how many apples would be in this case altogether? So again, you can use the break apart strategy. You can kind of finish drawing it out if you're able to, or again, if you know how many you have in each row and how many columns you have, you should be able to use this to answer this with multiplication. Okay, so again, you'll have some room down below that you can kind of type your answer, show your answer, or if you use a notebook and write out your answer, you guys can take a picture of it and insert it, but make sure that you listen to your teacher's instructions as well. They might have you wanting to submit your answer in a different way. All right, so these are your 2 problems that we will have for you to answer, but again, I will have this for you to be able to look at as a reference so you can kind of remember how to do some of this. All right, good luck and have fun.